We are back with another Wuthering Waves video. We are literally playing Wuthering Waves, and Zany is here, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Zany is amazing. All the concerns, they're not needed. I'm gonna drop a separate video pretty much showing a bunch of different team compositions in TOA with different weapons, but she works just fine with Spectral Rover. But I want to give the quickest TLDR guide for her because genuinely, Zany is such a good unit, and it would be a shame if you don't want to roll her because her kit seems super complicated and super convoluted, but I promise you it's not that bad. We ain't reading all this stuff. I'm going to show you in real time how this works. We're going to break everything down, best weapon, echoes, etc., what you should be leveling. So to get right into it, she is a Spectral Gauntlet user. So for weapons, obviously her best in slot is going to be Blazing Justice. Now, the second best that's going to be here is actually Rosia's weapon because that's going to give you heavy attack damage buffs. But I actually was able to get some clears with Abyss Surges. But so it's Blazing Justice, Rosia's weapon, Zhang Liao's weapon, just simply as a stat stick, and then you would go Abyss Surges. But if you don't, but that's pretty much her best in slot weapons. 4 stars are just kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie to you. Her Echo set is going to be this one. Keep in mind I have Capitinas here in slot 3, but I have Morning AX. It's the real one here. But you're going to be using this Echo set, Eternal Radiance. You're going to get Spectral damage, and inflicting Spectral Frazzle gives you 20% crit rate. Now, she doesn't inflict Spectral Frazzle necessarily, but one of her attacks in one of her Forte circuits is considered Spectral Frazzle damage, so you still get this 20% crit rate buff, and then obviously with stacks of 10 of Spectral Frazzle, you get an extra 15% damage bonus. They're always going to have Frazzle on them, you know, because she's always going to use Peeb or, you know, Rover, so really not that big of a deal. Obviously, you're going to go Spectral damage, crit rate, crit damage, heavy attack, another Spectral damage, a little bit of ER. I think you would about roughly 120-ish ER, 119.2. This is diabolical. We're going to have to cut my man squeeze his balls off. And then for the talents, I believe, and my friend told me this, it's Forte, Resonance Liberation, then Resonance Skill. Some sort of thing. You probably want to start with Forte regardless. That's where most of the multipliers are here, the big PP damage numbers. So keep that in mind, and then obviously normal attack and intro whenever. I'll go over her constellations afterwards, but I want to show you her gameplay because normally I sit down and I read these kits to you. It's too much to read. It's very simple. It's very straightforward, and I will use Rover here as well. And pretty much the way it works is she has 2 Forte meters, and it's really not that hard to manage. So we're going to go in pretty much. Her E is a counter, but you can also delay the counter and follow up into basic attack 3. So I'm going to show you the counter off rip. So hopefully he attacks me. He moves back because he's mad pussy. Counter. And then if I... so that's the counter one, right? So I'm going to get Shorekeeper up real quick. So if you see, there's a bar under Zany, right? Now, I'm going to apply Spectral Frazzle. That is going to increase the bar, right? Now, I messed up a little bit with the... I'm not going to get a Gold Clear Stellar Ramp, but that's fine. You're going to see. So we go into Zany. And so this E is going to give her more Blaze, and this counts as the Spectral Frazzle hit. That's going to enable you to get that extra 20% crit rate. So now when you burst, 1, 2, 3, and then you do a heavy attack when it's lit up. 1, 2, 3. Heavy attack when it's lit up, and then you hit R. You burst, bam, and then you swap off. And that's without the Gold Clear Stellar Rim and everything. That's pretty much Zany's kit. Now, the other part of her shield is you can hit E, and then follow up with a basic attack and brings you to stage 3. But that's how Zany works. Like, genuinely, it's very simple. You get your Blaze up to a certain point, so that way when you burst, you'll have enough to do the 2 enhanced hits, and then your burst again, and you use that enhanced E to apply that Spectral Frazzle. It's very straightforward. I'm going to show you a full rotation now, like, actually, you know, not die, hopefully. It'd be a shame if we did. Right? And again, it works just fine with Rover. You are going to have way more damage output with Phoebe and her weapon, but again, I will be dropping a completely separate video on that and all the different team compositions that I use. The team compositions don't really vary. Let me rephrase that, the different weapons. So 2, 3, we just hit now for 95,000. We're going to do that again. Bam. And then we're going to hit R. Boom. And then we're going to do a gold clear, selling him out. And that's pretty much half the health right there. Now, obviously, this one is going to favor Zany. But even outside of this, she's still amazing. So I did the one to get normal attack 3. So that way I can get more of the Forte up. Hit that. Bam. We have enough to do this enhanced one. My blaze is close to max. And when you burst, you even get more blaze if you are not max. So you're fine. 1, 2, 3. Bam. 1, 2. Oh. You have to make sure you don't die. I've died a few times with her. And bam. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like, Furrow just for whatever reason wanted to make the kit long as fuck, but it's not that deep. You know, it's just not that deep at all. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. And so we'll just top it off real quick with a little E and dead. And that's with Spectral Rover and everything. So yeah, pretty easy. That's how rotation works. Pretty straightforward. If you're using Peeb, you're just going to use the state that applies Spectral Frazzle with Peeb, and you get that up a lot faster. Now, in terms of sequences, I'm not going to lie to you, her sequences are pretty busted. So C1 is going to give you 50% spectral damage bonus for 14 seconds, and the heavy slash cannot be interrupted. C2 is really good, an additional 20% crit rate, and then after that, you're going to get an increase by 80% on forcible Riptos and targeted action, which is nutty. C3 is solid as well. When Inferno mode, every one blaze consume increases the last stage damage multiplier by 8%, maxed at 1200%. Bro, realistically, C2 is insane because you get that 20% crit rate from this, 20% crit rate from the actual artifact set itself. So that's 40 crit rate right there. So your build is a lot easier. But C3 is going to give you a massive nuke. That's nutty. C4 over here, when the intro skill is cast, attack all the resonators by 20%, goes up. Really okay. The damage multiplier, Resonance Liberation, is increased by 120, which is fucking nutty. And then C6 is just fucking stupid. I think the way I interpret this is that it's making your burst go on longer. When blaze is lower than 70, restore 70 blaze immediately. This effect triggered once in Inferno, so you get one additional one. Within 8 seconds after entering Inferno, Zany will remain standing at least 1 HP, so she can't die, and the damage multiplier is increased by 40% on everything. So at the end of the day, Zany is fucking amazing. She's simple and easy to use. I would go to C2. If you really want big damage numbers, go to C3, but you can stop there comfortably. But she's amazing. And with that being said, let me know what you think. I love you. I got a video coming out with her and a bunch of different, and a bunch of different weapons, because I was able to clear free to play completely. And I guess the one last thing I will say, I apologize if it was not clear. Her teams are Shorekeeper and Spectral Rover, Shorekeeper and Peeb. Or maybe you could run all three of them together, Zany, Shorekeeper, Peeb. Zany, Spectral Rover, and Peeb. I haven't tried that one myself personally, but those are the teams. So with that being said, I love you. See you in the next one.